Good afternoon and good morning. Today we have a special lock. I've done these before. This is a Kaba L1021M, or no, I'm sorry, C for Corbin Russwin. So we got a Corbin Russwin interchangeable core. This one comes from the post office, and they have lost the key to this. So I have to drill this out. And as you can see this is kind of wonky, so I got to replace some screws there. Also have to verify and make sure the clutch works in the combination chamber, so we'll be going through all that once again. But yeah, so here we go. So first thing you want to do, remove the 6 screws, because we have to reattach this part first and foremost. One thing I feel I should mention is that the face of the Corbin Russwin interchangeable core, you can see, is kind of protrudes out a little bit. So I kind of could see some issues with drilling that, because that could be kind of difficult. Let's see here. I know this is no longer under warranty, so I'm not really too concerned about this sticker, but if they ever want to know what they have, it's good to kind of keep it intact just in case. Alright, so okay, so that would explain why it was wonky. So the one screw holding it in there, so we can tighten that up. I see the other 2 screws floating around. There's one. There's 2. Oop, wow, all 3 of them were down there. Wonder how they did that. So, put those in there. Alright, so that piece is now good, so we'll just kind of chuck that to the side a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, so that works. As you can see, there's the spring. Kind of rusted up a little bit, but still good. Okay, so I was just able to confirm with my customer the combination, and the combination in this case is not working. And you can tell because, for one, that should be clearing out, and the movement of these arms is not, it should move a lot more. So I know I got to change the combination chamber, which that's not a big deal. In this case, let's see here. Okay, so I want to do this on camera so it's better understood. Alright, so when these combination chambers come right out of the bag, they are essentially, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're always going to be 2 and 4 at the same time, and 3. If you flip it over here, you can see the cog wheels. And these openings are right here, are referred to as the gates. So as you hit these buttons, you'll see the gates rotate. 2 and 4, 3, push that down, now it's in programming mode. Alright, so you take the trigger piece, push it forward, that pushes the control arm out, now you put in your desired combination, which would be 5, 3, 1. And the reason I call it the trigger piece is once you have your combination in, pull the trigger. Now that combination's locked in, so you hit 5, 3, 1, and you can see that all the gates are lined up. So I know the combination's good on this, so I'll very easily be able to replace it. So first things first, let's replace, let's take the screws out of this piece. I always put like parts together and make it easy. As you can see on this clutch assembly here, you have one marked D, one marked C. So that makes it easy to know which to put on first. Take that out. Alright, so you can do yourself a favor, don't take that screw out, but make sure it's loose. And you take that out. Alright, flip it over. So we got our new combination chamber, and we'll load the screws in here before we put it down to make it easy on ourselves. Slide that under there. Now the reason I said put your screws in is because it makes it easy to just screw it right on in. Alright, so with all of that back in there, yeah, you see how there's more movement in that? Alright, so 5, 3, 1. Alright, so I'd say that's functionally working very well. Okay, so now on to the fun part. Alright, so earlier I was talking about this interchangeable core. I don't know if you can tell from the angle, but you can see it kind of protrudes out past the face of this. Typically when you drill cores out, you want to drill about right here, and then come back and drill somewhere around here. You do that, you drill here to drill the shear line of the core, and you drill right here to drill the control arm that holds this in. So I've never done one of these, so this should prove to be interesting. So give me a second and I'll get it all set up. I'm going to hit it right there. Alright. Not familiar with doing that? That prevents your drill bit from moving on you. So what I'm trying to do, can't really tell, when you drill through here, you always have these excess pins that are down here and up here. So when you drill through it, what you're trying to do is kind of clear them out. It makes it easier when you finally get it to the point where you can twist the interchangeable core out. Another thing you can do is you're going through, like I use a pick because it's easier, but you kind of pick the pins up, and then you can come through with your drill and then drill them out again, and then yeah, go from there. Alright, so I'm back with a bigger drill bit. We're going to try drilling this out a little bit bigger. I always start off with a smaller diameter just simply to make it easier. It's pretty much like a pilot hole. As you can see, I have done quite a number in there. And yeah. So drilling out a lock isn't rocket science. Pretty much you just have to drill enough space for all the pins to get knocked out of it, and then you can usually go in and kind of physically manipulate the control arm out of position so that you can extract the core out. And you got to do it in such a way that you don't destroy any of this area around the core, because you want to keep that intact. But pretty much within the core is all fair game. So let me kind of readjust. Alright. Alright. See, we got lots of stuff coming out now. There we go. That's probably better. It's my first time ever drilling something out on camera, so I'm not quite sure how to angle all this here. As you can see down in there, it's fun. Alright, so control arms over here. Still see some. So, the cylinder portion is drilled, but the control arm is not. So, what do you do from here? Well, get your big hammer. See here. Let's see if I can hook some of these. These probers work great because you're able to go in and maybe hook the control arm and kind of move it a little bit. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. At the very least, you just come through and you just drill this whole area right here. Not the prettiest thing, but you know, it works. So let's try that. Let's see here. Alright. Not bad. What matters is you can see back here, nothing was compromised back on this side, and that's what matters because that's where your control arm locks the core in. Your two posts are intact, they're good to go.